In the world of celebrity romances, few stories capture the imagination quite like that of A$AP Rocky and Rihanna. Their relationship has blossomed into one of the most talked about partnerships in the entertainment industry, complete with shared parenthood and a deep bond that seems unbreakable. But every great love story has its humble and sometimes awkward beginnings. For A$AP Rocky, whose real name is Rakim Mayers, the first time he laid eyes on Robin Rihanna Fenty was far from the glamorous fairy tale one might expect. Instead, it was a moment filled with embarrassment, bouncers, and a touch of starstruck days that he would later recount with a mix of humor and nostalgia. The setting for this memorable encounter was a bustling nightclub in New York City, a place where the city's vibrant nightlife often brings together people from all walks of life, including those on the cusp of fame and those already shining brightly under the spotlight. At the time, A$AP Rocky was not yet the household name he is today. He was an up-and-coming rapper, navigating the competitive music scene with ambition and talent, but without the widespread recognition that would come later. Rihanna, on the other hand, was already a global superstar. Her hits like Diamonds had dominated the charts, and her presence in any room, or in this case outside a nightclub, commanded attention. She was the epitome of success, confidence, and allure, while Rocky was still building his empire. Picture the scene: the pulsating energy of New York City streets at night, the line outside the club snaking around the block, filled with hopeful partygoers eager to get inside. A$AP Rocky arrived with his friends, including the late Virgil Abloh, a visionary fashion designer whose influence on streetwear and luxury fashion would later become legendary, and Matthew Williams, another key figure in the creative world. These companions were not just friends. They represented a circle of innovators and artists who were pushing boundaries in their respective fields. But on this particular night, their status wasn't enough to bypass the strict door policy enforced by the bouncers. As Rocky tried to gain entry, things quickly escalated into a confrontation. The bouncers, tasked with maintaining order and exclusivity, pushed him back, refusing to let him in. It was a classic nightclub standoff, voices raised, egos bruised, and a sense of frustration building. Rocky described it as getting into it with the guards, a polite way of saying there was some bickering and perhaps a bit of heated exchange. In the midst of this chaos, Rihanna emerged from the club. She was likely there enjoying the evening, surrounded by her own aura of celebrity, but her exit timed perfectly, or imperfectly depending on how you look at it, with Rocky's predicament. Their eyes locked immediately. For Rocky, it was a moment of instant connection but also one laced with embarrassment. Here he was, arguing with bouncers, looking perhaps a bit disheveled or frustrated, and suddenly, the woman who would become the love of his life was witnessing it all. He admitted to feeling in a daze, a state of being overwhelmed by her presence. It's easy to imagine the rush of emotions, admiration for her beauty and success, mixed with the mortification of being caught in such an undignified situation. Rihanna, for her part, didn't intervene. She didn't swoop in like a hero in a romantic comedy to vouch for him or smooth things over with the bouncers. Instead, she simply observed, and the moment passed without her assistance. This lack of help from Rihanna became a punchline in Rocky's retelling. When asked if she helped him get in, his quick no elicited laughter, turning what could have been a sore memory into an endearing anecdote. It speaks to the authenticity of their story. Real life isn't scripted and first meetings aren't always perfect. Yet, this awkward encounter planted the seed for what would grow into a profound relationship. Over time, A$AP Rocky and Rihanna's paths would cross again, leading to collaboration, friendship, and eventually romance. Reflecting on this story, it's fascinating to consider how such a seemingly insignificant moment can lead to life-changing outcomes. A$AP Rocky, born in Harlem, New York in 1988, rose to fame through his mixtapes and unique blend of hip-hop, fashion, and art. His debut album Long Live A$AP in 2013 solidified his place in the industry, but back at that nightclub, he was still proving himself. Rihanna, born in Barbados in 1988, had already released multiple albums by then, establishing herself as a pop and R&B icon. Their shared age and creative spirits likely drew them together, but it was this raw, unpolished first meeting that set the tone for their genuine connection. Years later, on a popular late-night talk show hosted by Jimmy Fallon, Rocky shared this tale with the world. The show, known for its light-hearted interviews and celebrity revelations, provided the perfect platform for him to open up. At 37 years old, with 3 children shared with Rihanna, Rocky could look back and laugh at the embarrassment. Their family life now includes 2 sons, RZA and Riot, and a daughter whose name hasn't been publicly disclosed, but the joy they bring is evident in every public appearance and social media post. Rihanna, who has expanded her empire into beauty and fashion with Fenty Beauty and Savage X Fenty, balances motherhood with her entrepreneurial pursuits, while Rocki continues to release music and collaborate on projects. This story also highlights the role of friends in such encounters. Virgil Abloh, who passed away in 2021 after a battle with cancer, was a pivotal figure in Rocki's life. As the founder of Off-White and artistic director of Louis Vuitton's menswear, Abloh bridged fashion and music in ways that influenced countless artists, including Rocki. Matthew Williams, the creative director of Givenchy, shares a similar innovative spirit. Being with them that night added a layer of context to the embarrassment. Rocki wasn't alone in his struggle, but the presence of such talented friends might have amplified his desire to appear composed in front of Rihanna. In hindsight, the bouncer's refusal could be seen as a blessing in disguise. It created a memorable story that the couple can share with their children one day, illustrating that even celebrities face everyday hurdles. It also underscores the theme of perseverance. Rocki didn't let that moment define him. Instead, he continued to build his career, eventually earning Rihanna's attention on his own merits. Their relationship became public in 2020, after years of speculation, and has since been marked by mutual support, stylish outings, and family milestones. Expanding on the emotional aspects, one can imagine Rocki's internal monologue during that days. Was he thinking about her music, her style, or simply struck by her charisma? Embarrassment often stems from vulnerability, and in that moment Rocki was vulnerable, rejected by the club, exposed in his frustration. Yet, Rihanna's non-intervention might have been a sign of her own confidence. She didn't need to rescue him because she saw something in him beyond the argument.